launch control. This is the Lamborghini Urus SE, an updated version of the product that was first seen in 2017 and saw its model introduction in 2018. So this is by no stretch of the imagination a new car, but it has been such a massive sales success for Lamborghini since it launched, securing roughly 5,000 unit sales quite easily per annum, and production is set to increase. Lamborghini actually can't fulfill all the orders for this car. Order books are full up until the end of 2026. So we're quite lucky to have one in studio with us today. And with that in mind, this being the hybrid, let's check out the new drivetrain and tell you what it's all about. I know what you're thinking, and I know we're on the internet. You're gonna say this is an Audi RSQ8 dressed in a fancy Italian suit. And in some ways, I'd agree with you. It is based on the same MLB Evo 2 architecture as many VW Audi products, including the Porsche Cayenne. However, Lamborghini has taken this 4-litre twin-turbocharged V8 and completely reworked it. The only thing that truly remains is the engine block itself. There's a new cylinder head, there is new, larger turbochargers, and a revised intake. Now, they've had to do this because this car is a hybrid. It has to accommodate for that EV power that's helping to augment the V8 motor. Now, there isn't as much power from the internal combustion engine as there was in the Performante Urus variant that just went out of production, but there's still 456 kilowatts and 800 Newton meters just on internal combustion alone. Then there's an electric motor that sits within the 8-speed automatic gearbox itself. That produces 141 kilowatts and 483 Newton meters of torque. And using hybrid maths, that comes up to 588 kilowatts and 950 Newton meters of torque. Now, this car weighs quite a bit more than your standard Urus S that is now out of production. It's around 2,500 kilograms, but it will still get from 0 to 100 in a claimed 3.4 seconds and onto a top speed of 312 k's an hour. But being a hybrid, and because Lamborghini is trying to get around ever more stringent emissions regulations, there is an all-electric mode in this Urus SE, which is perhaps its most useful feature for owners. You can do up to 60 k's on just electric power alone. You can go up to 135 k's an hour too. And then when you run out of juice, you can turn on the internal combustion engine. You can recharge the battery or simply just use the combustion engine itself. It really is the best of both worlds. And that's really where the beauty lies in the Urus. It's not only a car that Lamborghini has made for profitability, it's also something to keep owners in the brand. If you've got a Revuelto or an upcoming Temerario on order and you need something to take the kids to school, but you don't want to compromise and you have to have a Lamborghini, the Urus is the car for you, and that's really why it has been so popular. So let's check out its practicality and see why so many have chosen this as their daily driver. Here's something I don't think I ever thought I would do in a Lamborghini review, a practicality evaluation. Now, I know what you're thinking, who cares? And to that I would say, well, I think a lot of the owners care how practical this car is, and that's why they buy it. This is the practical Lamborghini. This is what you buy if you've got several supercars in your garage and you need daily transportation for your family, something that can take you on your luxurious holidays and just serve as a daily driver. And the fact that this is now a hybrid speaks to the fact that Lamborghini see this increasingly as a daily driver for the elite. And if you look at the back here, well, it's really similar to the other MLB Evo cars. Loads of space. This has obviously got a sloping roof line, so it does compromise headroom. I've pushed the passenger seat quite far back here, and I've still got quite a lot of legroom and decent headroom. But if you are taller, you might struggle a bit with headroom. But honestly, it's a super practical product. It's got ISOFIX. You can load your kiddies in the back here. So let's go check out the boot. And I think I spotted something in there earlier that does compromise the boot a little bit, but I promise you after that, that's the last practical thing we'll do with the car. As you can see, inside the boot here, we've got quite a bit of compromised space. We've got a space saver spare tire here and the charging cable for this Urus. And that does take up pretty much all of the boot space. But you take that out, you've got roughly 460 liters of usable space. But to be honest with you, if you wanted practicality only, you could have just bought one of the other products on which this car is based. So a Touareg, a Cayenne, a Q8, a Bentayga, insert the name here. What I want to find out is what makes this car deserving of a Lamborghini badge. So for that, we have to take it for a drive. Launch control. That's a bit more like a Lamborghini review, right? We're actually out on the road driving the Urus SE, and that's where a Lamborghini belongs, on the road. We can sit in a studio and chat about its clever hybrid drivetrain all day if we want, and chat about it in theory, but the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. And well, with a Lamborghini, the drive quality, the automotive theater that these cars provide is really where all that money that prospective owners and current owners of the products see the value in them. Not only is it a brand steeped in heritage, it's also a symbol of not only excess and luxury, but of automotive enthusiasm. The man who started the company infamously wasn't a fan of some of the execution of Ferrari's products that he raced. So he took a humble tractor business and turned it into a supercar empire. Now, it's had its ups and downs, but I would be quite confident saying that modern Lamborghini is on the up and up. This brand is highly desirable in the world right now, and it's products like the Urus that have made it so popular. They've made Lamborghini slightly more accessible to more people, whereas it started life as I said, a humble tractor brand, and then creating things like the Miura and many other four-door cars. There was even the LM003 that was kind of a G-Wagon style vehicle, military and civilian. And then they went into the iconic Countach and several other models, followed by the 90s, the Chrysler era, and then into German ownership into the late 90s, early 2000s, when we got Gallardo, we got Murcielago, and then obviously more recently we got Huracan, Aventador, and now we've got the Revuelto, and of course the Temeraria, which should be launched in South Africa early in 2026. And that really is the reason why this Urus has been updated. See, the previous Urus reflected very much what the Huracan and Aventador provided at that time in the Lamborghini portfolio, pure internal combustion, whereas the Temerario and the Revuelto are both electrified options, and this Urus now reflects a bit more of that vehicle's design language with its updated exterior and interior, and obviously it's got the hybrid drivetrain. Now, a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, will just say that this is simply an Audi or VW product with a fancy badge, and it's a lot more than that for me. In fact, I see its VW Audi Group underpinnings as a good thing. I don't foresee Lamborghini being able to develop a bespoke SUV platform that is as well integrated as this. So why not take a platform that already underpins so many good cars? I mean, the likes of Porsche are happy to use it as well, and then turn it into your own thing. And that's really what they've done. Yes, there are remnants of the cars that it's based on. This climate control panel, for example, is straight from Audi. The infotainment system is similar. The digitized cluster is similar. They just reskinned with Lamborghini style. But the finishing, the way it's put together, the stitching on the leather, the personalization options, and the way everything feels and looks inside here is quite special. And I think that's why this Urus has struck a chord with people. It's got really nice German-esque ergonomics. There's not too many Italian quirks in here, but at the same time, you get a lot of that Italian design, and that's really awesome. This center stack here where you control your driving modes, and indeed you can start the vehicle and put it into reverse or park. That's a very Lamborghini thing to have that. And to put the car into first gear, you don't use this gear lever, you have to click the upshift pedal, very much like in the brand's super and hypercars, which I think is a very nice touch. And then we get to the driving modes themselves. Now, being a hybrid, this car is a lot more complicated than your standard Urus. I drove one many years ago, and it was a simple flick through the various driving modes and you're good to go, depending on what the prevailing road conditions are. In this car, there's a few more considerations. So this Anima section at the bottom here, you can go from Strada to Sport to Corsa to Neve, and that allows you to adjust the driving modes of the car, and they are discernible from each other. I'm currently in Corsa, which is the track ready mode. The car is super aggressive. You get faster gear shifts, a sharper throttle response, the suspension lowers and gets stiffer. The car corners so incredibly flat for an SUV. It almost beggars belief. And then to the right hand side of the center gear switch here, you've got the EV switch, which allows you, when you're in the various driving modes, you can either click into performance, which allows you to use both the electric and petrol power modes. Then you can do a recharge function, and then obviously a full EV mode, so you can charge the battery using the combustion engine. You can use both in tandem, so you get the full 588 kilowatts and 950 newton meters, or you can pop it into EV only mode, and then you get a very silent, easy to use SUV. This morning we started shooting very early. I had to leave my home. I live in an estate, and I had to leave at a very early hour, and I didn't really want to wake up my neighbors, so it was nice to leave this car into EV mode. And then when I got out into the open road, it was a lot easier to then switch the engine on, and then I could use the hybrid drivetrain and even charge the battery a little bit. But that's where the usability of this Urus comes in. Not only is it practical, has a reasonable boot, and your family can come along, but it offers you so many options as a driver, and it really does make a lot of sense for the wealthy elite among us who want something that reflects their passion for not only the Lamborghini brand, but for cars. As a petrol head, I think we have this romanticized idea as a car enthusiast that we could daily drive a Revuelto or any of the other super or sports cars from not only Lamborghini, but other brands too. But life tends to get in the way of these ideas, because those cars are inherently impractical purely because they are so focused on performance. Now, the performance SUV is not my favorite genre of cars, and I think many performance car fans don't find them that appealing either. But when you drive something like this that is so fast in a straight line, stops so well with these enormous carbon ceramic brakes, handles as well as this does, but also provides that ride comfort and ease of use, and even EV only driving, you start to understand why these things are so popular. Yes, the biggest Achilles heel of this car is its weight. 2.5 tons is not playing around. That is a very heavy car, and somehow Lamborghini have managed to disguise the height and weight of the car pretty well. I'm not going to pretend that in slow speed corners this feels as dynamic as a supercar. It doesn't. It still feels rather big and heavy, but the way that this car manages to handle its weight and put down all of that power is massively impressive. I can totally understand why this car has such a long waiting list. It really does cater for such a broad market, obviously within the niche that it operates in. Not everybody has 4.75 million rand for an Urus, and that's before options. You'll probably be lucky to get away with 6 million rand. I mean, if you aren't interested in a hybrid Urus, on the AutoTrader site, in addition to our new AI tools, we've also got dealer ratings and price ratings, but we've also got 20 combustion powered Uruses, or Uri, whatever the plural is you'd like to choose for the collective noun for a group of Uruses, a herd of Uruses, because it is named after a species of cattle. I don't really know what the collective noun is or what the correct plural is. I'm going to say Uruses. That sounds right to me. But we've got 20 of them for sale on the AutoTrader website at the time of recording, and they were all combustion only. Now, this new SE model is pretty fresh to the local market, and Lamborghini were kind enough to lend us the car for a few days. And I've got to say, I've driven a few of Lamborghini's older supercars, and I've driven more recent models like Aventador and Huracan. I've even driven the previous Urus, but this car to me just makes a lot of sense as a daily SUV performance car. It really does tick the proverbial boxes, to go through another motoring journalism cliche. I have been thoroughly impressed with it. I think the execution is phenomenal. The car sounds great. There is some obvious sound being piped into this cabin right now, but from the outside, the car sounds just as biblical. So while there's piped in sound, it does sound authentically V8 and very, very muscular. And there's no such thing as a soft limiter, not in the Lamborghini world. So this car will rev all the way up to red light and pop and bang, and it's just such a theatrical experience for an SUV. So when someone says an Urus is just an Audi RSQ8 with a different body, I simply can't agree with it. Yes, it's got similarities to that product, but it's a lot more than that. It is a Lamborghini at the end of the day, and it feels special. Every time you hop into it, every time you look at it, it evokes a specific emotion, and that's really what the Lamborghini brand is all about. And I suppose that's going to do it for this review. Let's take it through some fast sweeps. Crazy fast. The brakes, the steering, the handling, the acceleration, it is special. I understand the hype now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the AutoTrader YouTube channel. We love making content for you. If you've enjoyed this review, leave us a like. Get into the comment section. Let us know what you think of the Urus SE, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.